Good morning, everybody. How are you all today? It's Wednesday. It's Hump Day. It's been a bit of a roller coaster week, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going. And Facebook has booted me out, as you probably saw earlier, and it wouldn't let me go live, but it has now. I'm just going to check. No one's on just yet, but it takes a little while for us to get seen, doesn't it? Just going to.
There's a few people saying they catch the replay.
Yeah. A couple of people working. I'm just going to check. Oh, no, we have 3 people on. I'm hoping we are in the Artisan Toolbox. We surely are. Cool. So we have Louise, we have Samantha, and we have Jane. How are you? How's your Wednesdays going, ladies? And Amy. Hey. Sorry, a little bit late. Facebook hates me. I think it's because I'm everywhere. And Dale's on. So this is Joelle. Is that how you say it? Joelle?
Yeah, that's right. Most people call me Jo. It's easier.
Oh, good. This is your state of me. This is Jo, and we're just having a chat about what she does. And she's written a book, guys. I am just so mega impressed now. A bit blown away now. Like, wow, because she knows about our book that we're going to be writing. And look at her awesome space. You've got such an awesome space.
Thank you. Absolutely love it. I love it. It's my little hole.
You must have a million books.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
So if you tell us a little bit about her, about you, and then
right.
Yeah.
Oh, so I am officially my official job title these days is business strategist. So it's my job to help people to earn more money in their business.
What we like to hear.
But I think a lot of people think that if they're going to earn more money, they need to do something different, and that's not the case. So I'm trying very much to empower people in the business that they've already got, what they love already, so that they don't have to change things, and they don't have to start selling new things or do things that aren't authentic to themselves. But there are certain tweaks and certain ideas perhaps that they may not have thought of, that I help with implementing. I help to throw some ideas out there of how they can earn more so that they can make their business a bit more sustainable, because I know how hard it is to run a business. I've had 3 failed businesses behind me, one that did really well and then ended up getting caught up in litigation and all these loops of things, and it got very, very messy. It was a case of, right, put my hands up, call it a day and walk away. So I've learned a lot in the last sort of 5 years of working for myself. Prior to that, I worked for the fire service. I was a strategic manager for prevention. So it was my job to stop fires happening and to work in the community. And a lot of that work was obviously digital strategy, working online, talking to people, because I'm a people person. So that's me, and that's what I do, and that's my history.
And Jules introduced us, didn't she?
She did indeed, yes. Thank you so much. And I can't even remember how Jules and I met. It was one of those moments where I think we got talking in another group, and she invited me to join her group.
Yeah, that's how we did. Although, in all fairness, with my cuddle bed business, I applied for Dragon's Den. I got into the audition stage.
Wow.
And I binge watched every one of them, and I saw hers way before I saw her in Helen's group, because Helen coached her.
Yeah.
And then I saw her in Helen's group, and I don't know how we just must have connected, I think. And then she's just so very connectable, isn't she?
Absolutely. And it's almost like I felt when you contacted me, I felt like I knew you already. Because that group, I think it's a brilliant place to be. It's a great place to hang out.
Yeah.
New people and get ideas and inspiration. Jules has been a huge inspiration for me, to step out of my comfort zone, because this is way out of my comfort zone. I'm not great at the whole life.
You're doing amazing.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on. It's brilliant.
So we've got a couple of more Claire and Nancy's on. So we haven't missed anything, guys. We're just good morning, Nancy. We're just hanging out a little bit just to see what a bit of background of Jo's. And they all know, or I think pretty much all of them know Jules anyway.
Yeah, doesn't everyone these days? I feel like everyone in my loop knows who Jules is. It's brilliant.
She's done amazing, hasn't she? She's awesome.
Yeah, yes,
awesome.
She has.
So we're going to talk a little bit about 5 ways to increase the income, aren't we?
We are, yes.
We're really excited to hear this. Because you know the background, all of us are crafters, you know all about Heartizan, we all make different things, it's all handmade, we've all got our own stories, and Heartizan brings us all together.
I think it's really brilliant that you're empowering people to tell the story as part of what it is that they do. Yeah. And that is something that obviously I've ended up doing as part of my business as well, because I'd much rather be at home having health issues of my own, and I know that some of your sellers have got health issues too, so it's easier to be at home, but also you want that business that you are running from home to be successful when you are able to do it. And so when I first started running joellebyrne.com, which is where I run my business strategist stuff from, I thought to myself, what would I have really appreciated when I was selling physical products? What did I want help really doing? So I had to think about what it was that I needed before in order to help my ideal client, because in a way, I had been my ideal client once upon a time.
I think we all have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that leads me on perfectly to the 5 things that I came up with that I know work and that I know make a difference and make an impact. And they've worked for my clients that I've got that I speak to on a regular basis, my coaching clients. But they're also are really basic, and it's not something that you have to go, oh, what do? I don't know how to do it. So the 5 things, the first one.
Erica's just joined us and said, sorry, she's late, but that's okay, because we haven't really started. We're just hanging out a bit, Erica.
I'm about to get into it now, so that's brilliant. So tip 1, I'm sorry, I'm looking down at my notes here to make sure that I don't miss anything.
That's okay. I'm watching the comments. If you see me looking, I'm watching them.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, shout it, because I don't have access to the comments, so please let me know.
No, I will do. Yeah.
That's brilliant. So the first and most important thing, we were talking about ideal clients and ideal customers. Niching down. There are so many crafters out there that their ideal client is just whoever likes their products, and that's awesome. But actually, that's not the way to sell, and that's not the way to be successful in a craft-orientated product creation business. If you're trying to please everyone, inevitably you please nobody. And even though people buy people, you need to understand who it is that you're talking to in order to make that connection. And this is something that Jules will always say with her sales
journey.
Skills. It's really important to know who it is that you're having a conversation with, because if you're talking to everyone in the copy that you're writing on social media, or the blog posts that you're writing, or the products that you're creating, you really can't appeal to the people that actually are going to buy those products. You really need to think about who those people are, what they do for a living, what their income is, what their personal life is about, what their values are, what they do in the downtime, how much money they actually have to spend on products like yours, and if they're gifty type products, who do they buy for, who are important to them, if they're personalised.
You need to do the research, don't they?
Absolutely. I think it's really, really important to look at your competition. So who else, because I'm all about community over competition. I think there is room for everybody, because everybody does things slightly differently.
Yeah, I do.
So I think from a business point of view, it's really important to have a look and see who else is selling similar items, who their audience are. Have a look at keywords and things like that on Google, and type in perhaps maybe some of the keywords that are relevant to what it is that you create, and see the sorts of places that your audience are hanging out. So your Facebook groups, and are they more likely to be on Twitter, or are they more likely to be hanging out on Pinterest, which I think is really super important for your guys. Because I think Pinterest is a platform that's really visual and really creative.
And Instagram?
Sorry, you broke up there. Sorry, say again.
Instagram is very visual, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I think Pinterest is more of an ideas.
I'm going to have to just quickly say, we have Jules watching us. Good morning, Jules.
Oh? Oh, now I am nervous.
Oh, no, don't be. Oh, 2 of my favourite people can't stay, but she will catch the replay. No problem.
Oh, hi, Jules. Thank you. So yeah, visual platforms like Instagram are more from a more social perspective, but also Pinterest from a more creative perspective, and also that's really good for driving traffic. So that's just a side note there that if you're not on Pinterest, get on it because
Heartizan is on Pinterest, but I don't get Pinterest. I got old man's up. I don't get it.
Yeah,
that's okay, Jules. Don't worry. Love you too.
I was in Manchester on Monday speaking to a network of people who do wedding supplies, and I spoke to them about how they could increase their sales just through using Pinterest. And just being smart about the way that they use it, and you know, some key tactics. And that's the first ebook that I'm actually writing at the moment. So something that Artisan would really benefit from, to drive people to that platform. But individuals within the platform can also benefit because they can pin that product out there as well without it just being on Heartizan's own site. It can be on people's individual business pages as well. So it's a brilliant way of driving traffic. So getting really specific about who it is that you're selling to, what you're selling, why you're selling it, and who you're selling it to is absolutely the first step of making more. Because even though your product could be super niche, so it could be really specific. It might target, I don't know, for example, I know a lady who became a millionaire through blogging specifically. She didn't actually create a product, she created blogs with useful information, and most of them were through affiliate marketing, which is another side note. But her niche was to brownies and guides leaders.
Really?
So very specific type of women, because most of the brownies and guides are female orientated. She's really specific and really niche down, and managed to tap that audience so well that she became very famous within that audience and made all the money from doing that. So even though your niche might seem super small, the smaller it is and the more specific it is, the more money you're going to get, because you're really speaking to those people and connect with them on a more individual level. That's definitely the first one. Are there any questions?
I was just going to go through. I'll go through. Louise says that's what I struggle with. I presume that's finding the audience.
Yeah.
This is what I'm having trouble with, says Samantha. I'll just flick through Jules. Amy, I need to find kitsch or kawaii lovers on social media, but I'm struggling to find some groups. Louise says, I think there are a lot on Instagram, but not sure about in Facebook. That's what she might be replying to Amy, actually.
Right,
Samantha doesn't get Pinterest either. I know, Samantha. That's why I've got people doing it for me.
Well, once the ebook's written, I'll be sure to let you all know. But on my website, there is a basic guide that you can download for free on there of how to set up Pinterest.
When you've finished, if you put your links in, we can all go and find out all your goodies, can't we?
Brilliant, I'd love to, thank you. Well, what I was going to say as well, everything that I'm talking about today, I've also put together in a guide, so it's all written down. People don't have to worry about remembering everything I've talked about. So I'll make that available to you all as well. And do that in the links afterwards. But with regard to niching down and finding the exact audience that it is, if that's what people are struggling with, if you're struggling to find out where your audience hang out, the chances are you don't know enough about them. I think it's a really good idea to start really asking more questions, whether that's of yourself, as in what would this person want, what would this person do, or whether that's actually asking the people that are already buying from you. That's really key. If you're already making sales on your product, then there's your audience. They're the people, even if you've only got 1 out of 5 people that have bought from you, that's your real target person, have a conversation with that person.
Oh, definitely.
And I think it's really key. And there's also some other questions. I've got some written down here. Just opening these for you. So the sorts of questions that you can ask yourself about your audience. Let me see. Let me find it. Right, so the sorts of things that you can ask yourself: age and gender, marital status, where they live, what their income level is, what their job is, what they do in their free time, life beliefs, favourite blogs, magazines, TV shows, places to hang out online, because you're answering the question as part of building that profile.
Yeah.
What types of things might they type into Google that relate to your business? What are their guilty pleasures? So that you can tap into that, perhaps maybe through your social engagement. What other experts do they follow? What's their dream job? Do they have their dream job? There's loads of awesome things, but the most important one is what stresses them out. What problem do they have that you can solve?
Absolutely.
And what is their end point? And I think that that's super key. So there's a few questions that you could sort of think about when you're starting to build the avatar of your ideal client. But again, if you even Google ideal client avatar or niche avatar, there's loads of other examples of questions that you can ask yourself and your clients to figure out just who it is that you're talking to and who you're selling to.
Erica says, when can you find out where they hang out? When you find out where they hang out, do you... Sorry, Erica, I had a very busy day and I don't think my brain's working yesterday. When you find out where they hang out, how do you make contact? Right. So we've been talking about this in Imaginarium, Erica. You just make a conversation lovely.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be about...
Email them. You just get on the phone and ring them.
Yeah. It's like, again, I'm emulating Jules. It doesn't have to be, oh, I have this, do you want it?
No, never do that.
Be that conversation. And I think that's what makes a lot of people feel really uncomfortable. Most of the time, if it is a group like Facebook, or if it's perhaps maybe a Twitter chat, or a hashtag specifically that's being used on Instagram, just get involved, get in there.
And people love telling you things, don't they?
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
Love, if you say to someone, oh gosh, can you ask a question? They really love telling you and helping you. People are really, really lovely to do that, and they love it.
Yeah,
most of mine are in baby and mother groups. There you go, Erica.
There you go.
Conversations, honey.
My ideal audience hang out in business groups because they're looking for more ideas of how to expand their business. Yeah. But again, that just doesn't mean that the entire group is related to me and I need my help. That's absolutely not the case. My specific target audience is people, women aged 35 to 45, who perhaps maybe either craft or have a locally based service. So that's kind of a rough idea of who I talk to.
So mine is parents of autistic or children with special needs or people who can't sleep. I hang out in the groups. I also have discussions with occupational therapists. I don't have a lot of time like I did because of Heartizan, but I will revisit it.
Yeah.
But, my stuff's going out in Tottenham. That's because I did my research. The Tottenham sensory manager's daughter has autism. Notts County, they all do. There is stuff that you can talk about, and you don't message them to sell. You ask for their help, and they will give it to you. If they've got that connection, they will give it to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And also your customers, don't be shy in asking them to leave a review, or to give your products a share if they found them useful. There's a lot of platforms where once you receive, if it's a physical item, you can pop a little business card in there that says thanks so much, please leave a review or let us know.
I think majority of us do that.
Yeah, it's a brilliant way of just making it a bit more personalised. I've purchased things before where I've received a handwritten note that said, hi Joe, thanks so much for making the purchase. And it makes you feel really special as a customer. Yes. And because of that, I've then left a review, I've recommended, and that's when you really start to get the ball rolling because you really know who it is you're talking to. So I think it's really key because if you're trying to sell to everyone, you end up selling to nobody.
Yeah. And I think sometimes crafters tend to get into a little bit of hanging out in all the craft groups where everyone are doing the same thing.
Yes.
And I don't think, I've said this in the Imaginarium before, I don't think that's the right place for us.
No, it's not. It's great.
5,000 of you all trying to sell to the same people. It's not the target audience you need.
No, absolutely not. It might be great to develop your business and to get new ideas and to connect with people that are doing the same thing, but actually that's not your audience. Your audience is the problem that you're solving with your product, And the people that are already crafting, that are already doing this stuff, don't need your product to solve a problem, because they'll probably make it themselves.
Absolutely. And we've all been there. I'm looking at doing a survey. SurveyMonkey's really good, Samantha. I use SurveyMonkey a lot. Would you give an incentive to people who fill it out? No, I wouldn't give them anything free, because they'll do it.
They will. Don't make it too long. Don't make it too complicated.
Yeah.
Try not to have too much free text, because I think that's when, I don't know about anybody else, but I personally start to really struggle when it's like, what is your opinion on this? And I think, I don't know. Whereas if I have a
multiple choice,
it's something I can sit and do on my phone while I'm, waiting to pick up my daughter from school, or, killing time, having a cup of tea or whatever. It's the sort of thing that makes it so much easier. So the easier you make it for your consumer, for the person that's filling out the form, the more likely it is that they're going to fill it in.
Yeah, and I think the first one I did, I shared it into an autism group. I gave them a bit of my story. I put pictures of Zach and Amber when they were born really early, and people connect with stories, as we know.
Yeah.
And I had probably 120 people fill in that survey.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And it was the specific group that was important. If you'd have put that in the craft group, it wouldn't have worked.
No. No one would have given a cow to cow.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have.
Yeah, so I think that's really important. And if you're not,
I think it's the question. When you put it in the group, it's the question you ask as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's how you phrase it. It's
it wasn't sales. I think it was like, I'm doing some research on a new product, which is absolutely true, to be fair. Yeah. And I'd really appreciate if you just do it. It's very short, and 120 people.
Yeah, it's absolutely awesome. That is a really good start.
Yeah.
I can't imagine putting something out there and getting more than 5 results. That would be good for me. So 120.
But that's my target audience, and I did research on it first. So
you knew what you were doing. You know you're in the right place, and that just reaffirms that information, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, I thought she said something else, but she didn't.
No, that's fine. So we'll move on. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, so point 2 I have is complementary products. So if, for example, you create, let's say a friend of mine is a creator, she is a pyrographer? Yeah, that's the right word.
Yeah.
And she does wood burning, it's beautiful, she does coasters and all this sort of stuff. She's really targeted down, she's niched down, and she's looking at weddings, and that's what she's been doing. And so she's attending wedding fairs, and she's selling online, and she's doing really, really well. However, the income is directly related to what it is that she is selling. She is exchanging time for money, because all her time goes into creating the products, or standing behind a stall, or going out and networking and speaking to people online. So we had a conversation, and she's actually become a client of mine as a result of our first sort of initial conversation, of how she could perhaps maybe broaden the spectrum of the money that she's earning whilst staying true to the creative side and what it is that she's doing. So we talked about complementary products that perhaps maybe would go along really nicely with what it is that she's selling, without taking away from what it is that she's selling. So, and I'm talking about becoming an affiliate for other people. So basically all you're doing is you're saying, I have this beautiful cake board, for example. She does these gorgeous cake boards that are all inscribed around the edges. Well, what goes on a cake board? A cake. So she's then gone hand in hand and had a conversation with a local cake supplier to say, basically, if I sell for you, will you sell for me? Some of it's partnership work, so she's receiving more sales as a result of that. But also, they've negotiated a percentage exchange. So for every sale that my friend makes for the cake business, she gets 20% of the cake sale, and vice versa.
That's awesome.
So it's a brilliant way of really tapping into serving your audience on a better level. And it works but locally, like I said about the exchange for a local cake maker and a local supplier. But it can also work really well for people, perhaps maybe if you know, if you create scarves, let's just go with scarves. So you create beautiful knitted scarves, and you know an online retailer that sells a gorgeous coat that would just go perfectly with your scarf. Why not become an affiliate for that person or that online retailer? Huge companies, little tiny sellers, everybody has affiliate programs these days. And you can promote that alongside, oh, if you bought the scarf, you may very well be interested in this beautiful coat. You do it on social media, you make it engaging, you make it about a story. It could be that you're perhaps maybe seen on social media wearing this particular coat, and because I would never say to become an affiliate for something that you don't really truly believe in, that's not true to what it is that you're doing. You're not going to start selling skincare products if you are a baker. They don't go hand in hand. They don't go well together, and it compromises your integrity as a seller. But it is something to really, really start to think about, because once you have things, affiliate products that you don't have to actively sell, so perhaps maybe if you have a blog, you can talk about that you wore this scarf or with this particular coat. If you want this coat, you can buy it here. It becomes a completely passive source of income.
It's strange you say that, because at the event yesterday, I had both my hats on, and I saw a marketer from Robert Dias, and I spoke about Heartizan, and she's saying exactly the same as you.
Really?
When you've just come up with this, I was like this. And the guest note speaker was somebody called Tom Hunter. Now, I've never heard of him. Have you heard of him? Oh, you just saw my daughter.
Now I'm watching your girl creeping around in the background.
Just brought the dogs in. I fed them. Someone called Tom Hunter that I'd never heard of, and he was absolutely amazing. And he did trainers.
Wow.
And he went and did affiliate with he was very, very small. He started off on a stand in London somewhere. No, he was Scotland somewhere. And he then sold and got affiliated, and he just went up, and he's worth 260 billion or something now. And JJB Sports won his business, and me and my daughter were like that.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so that works. That does work.
Really does. Because the thing is, if you really understand your audience, like we talked about before, you know exactly what it is that they want, and what will complement what you are already selling, what the pain points they have are, and so that you don't have to be willy-nilly and signing up for every affiliate program available.
No. And how he did it, he sold trainers, so he found big businesses that sold jeans. So it was jeans and trainers. And before we even had all the products, this is the sort of thing I do. He went down, knocked on their door, and it was one in his town, and they had 3. And they're like, yeah, okay, we'll give you a go. And he didn't even have the trainers. That's exactly the sort of thing I do. And then he made it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
About people giving you that initial sense of belief. But also, it doesn't have to be small retailers that you're approaching that have to create a program in order for you to do that.
No.
There are massive online retailers of things that could be complementary, as long as they match your values and your ethics, because I know that a lot of crafters have specific ethical things and moral ideals that they want to live up to. So not then going to start promoting that come from perhaps maybe slightly unethical backgrounds, or large retailers, things that aren't produced perhaps maybe in the best circumstances. It needs to really be completely in line with your business. I think brainstorming some of these ideas and sitting and thinking, right, what is my product? What is the problem? What goes well? Doggy time.
I'm just going to shut that door.
Oh, bless them. No, mine aren't here because the postman's due any time, and they'll just go absolutely crackers.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
It's about staying true to the identity of your brand and business, but thinking outside the box, as it were, which is so cliche, but it's true, about what it is that will really complement you and your product and will help your audience. And then you can start to think about who you might want to approach. And again, do some research. There's a company called Awin who manage, they're an affiliate platform. So they manage everybody from Filofax to places like Asda, Iceland, your big supermarket chains. There's clothing retailers, there's craft retailers, there's planner people, which is my wonderful secret hobby. So people that love to keep organised, and there is everything. There's electronic products, there's prints, there's gifts, there's everything you could possibly imagine on there. Okay. These massive retailers, and it's easy to join. Again, it's another link that I can throw in the mix for you guys. I'll put a little post together with all the bits that we've talked about. But that is something that I would seriously recommend, because it's a way of earning that additional income. It gives you something extra to post about on social. It doesn't have to be pushing sales, it's a really, really good idea to start looking at brainstorming those sorts of things and where you can help.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
No worries.
You are fabulous. I'm really enjoying listening to you. Such a friendly voice, and you're doing great on this live. Such fab info and so interesting. Amy says, I struggle about what compliment my bits, as they're very out there. Oh, Amy, we can talk about that.
Absolutely. And by all means, feel free to message me. I'd love to be able to brainstorm.
Amy does dream catchers, and oh gosh, do you know what, Amy? Can you please write down what you do with the creamy stuff, because I've got a memory disorder and I can never remember what it's called. Wow, someone's already said it. So it's like piping. And you can turn like a jewelry box into that looks like a cake with bits and pieces on it. It's gorgeous. Oh my god, it's lush.
Oh, I want to see.
Yeah. Actually, Amy, what you could do is post a picture of it so we can see it in the group.
Oh, yes, please. Yes, please. I'd love that. And I'm sure, like I said, we'd be able to talk about audience. I'm happy to talk via Messenger if anybody wants to.
And Steph, we're doing a Live 5 challenge, something I set up a couple of years ago. About how live helps you, so you can do it in a safe space. Yeah. Steph was watching Amy's product ones, and she was like, do you know what, you should do shoes. So there is something that will complement it.
Absolutely.
Decadent, thank you.
Yeah. There we go. So with the things like dream catchers, you might want to think about where they might be used rather than the problem that they solve, because yes, they solve a problem. I have them all over my house. My daughter has them. Yeah. I love them. Yeah. They're beautiful, they're representative, and they mean something to me. But also they serve a practical purpose as well. You know, I talk to my daughter about how they work, what they do, the history behind them. There's loads of ideas. You could look into decor that complements the dream catcher side of things. You could look into selling the books that talk about the history of the dream catcher. You could look at other complementary products that talk about nightmares and terrors and dream elements.
Oh, you're amazing, you are.
There is so much. I would love to. This is where I get super excited, really talking about someone's individual business and what we could do to make the changes, and that's what I do. Yeah. Awesome, I love it. So thank you so much for letting me talk to you and your people today, because it's really exciting. So that leads me perfectly on to point number 3, is if you're becoming an affiliate for big brands or an affiliate for another local business or offering other online products that people can buy just through your affiliate links, whether that's on social or on your blog, think about setting up an affiliate program of your own so that other people are selling your products. And what they will do is they get a percentage. You can set your own percentage commissions. They're really easy to set up. It's something you could think about operating Artisan later down the line, of actually allowing the facility for people to set up affiliate sales on there.
Yeah, that's what they told me about yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a brilliant way of making additional sales to perhaps reaching audiences that you perhaps wouldn't have reached. Because there will be someone out there that's in a group that you don't know about on Facebook that knows about somebody else, and it's all about making those connections and those links. If that person is then able to make a small amount from promoting your product, then they're more likely to promote it, even if they're just your average Joe and not a business person. I have friends that promote via affiliate links. It's not a business for them, but they make a really nice passive income from it, a few £100s a month, just from saying on social media, you know, oh, I tried this on the other day and it's really gorgeous. If you want one, this is where you can get it from. Be clear about the fact that it's an affiliate link, because that's really, really super important. Changing the rules around it. From a legal perspective, it's really important to be completely transparent. But it's also a really nice way of getting your product out to an audience that you may not have found or tapped into just yet. So that's something to do.
Erica would like to know what will complement her mugs and coffee, as I do everything that goes with them. So she makes her own mugs, so she prints her own mugs, and she's very niche in what she does. She's absolutely amazing, and she does. She's just launched some of her own very brand of coffee as well.
Brilliant. Okay. So alongside that, if there's at the moment in the product range, there's just coffee and mugs, then you've also got complimentary teapots, tea sets, You could start to look at biscuits, large biscuit brands, places like McVitie's and Nestle, that they do sometimes have their own affiliate schemes. If not, you can join affiliate schemes for your large supermarket chains. So you've got Asda, Tesco's and Sainsbury's. Promote whatever's on their shelves. So that could be, a decent tin of biscuits. There's also Amazon have an affiliate program that's really easy to join. So if you're thinking about promoting products that are complementary, what goes really well with a cup of coffee, a really nice settee to be able to sit on, and a good book that goes along with it. So there you go. There's a whole range. You think about what you do when you sit down with your favourite mug. This is me. And so I sit down with my favourite mug, and if I was my own ideal audience, I would be sat with my planner. So I would be promoting my planner supplies, and I would be sat watching Netflix. So I would be promoting Netflix at the same time.
Netflix. Planners would be awesome for you, Erica. Planners would be absolutely brilliant, because that is what a lot of people do with their coffee in the morning. They sit with their planners.
Planners, diaries, all
books.
Things. So, and you could then perhaps maybe look from a marketing perspective. You could look at how you start your day, how the best people start their day with a plan and a brew.
Yeah. She's going to love you. She calls it brew.
Oh, it's definitely an Northern thing. I'm a Yorkshire tea girl myself.
Yeah, she's Manchester.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the sort of thing that you need to start looking at, because once the idea ball starts rolling, you start to think about if someone's sat in their living room drinking a cup of coffee, what time of day is it? What are they doing? Are they looking at the clock? Are they not looking at the clock? Is the phone on silent? Is the telly on? Have they got a book in their hand? You start to think about the situation and the environment that someone's actually using your product in. And then you can visualise all the other things that they might have, want or need around them that will complement.
Do you know what, Erica? She just said school planners. I've got, because my life's so crazy, I've got Box Clever Press. Now, my daughter told me about this one. This one's huge right now. Everyone's using these. Have you heard of them?
They show up in my feed. I am a traveller's notebook kind of girl.
Look at that.
So, with me.
Wow.
Yeah, my hobby is planners. So stickers and paper clips, and I love being organised. I'm a super geek. But that's it crosses over. So this is the sort of thing that
get hold of these people.
So my planner people would be very interested in the coffee and the mugs, because all of them are absolutely obsessed with everything matching. So that they will have,
and she can customise it
that matches their planner. Yeah. You made it, and there is a massive. Sorry, I appear to have a visitor.
No, that's okay. Yeah, Erica, you can customise your mug, hun.
So yeah, there's loads of ideas there, and there is also a big group called UK Planner Addicts, which I'm a member of. It's my hobby. I keep it completely separate from my business. But there are people in there that run their own businesses that I do help from time to time. So again, there's your audience. If that's something,
we've got something else. So this is Nancy. So what would you do to sell alongside art? Nancy does mixed media art. I make art and arty gifts. I find it hard to think of what people are doing at the same time as looking at art, hanging art or wearing art.
Okay, so at the moment, if it's physical prints, so we're talking about things that we actually hang on the wall, because obviously art can come in any different shape and size. You might want to think about putting, like she mentioned about wearing it, you might want to think about actually using the designs that you already have to put them on.
And I think she does magnets.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, she does stuff like that. So I think she's asking about affiliates with them. She must be, yeah.
I think when it comes down to artwork, let my brain just go. If people are buying from a gift perspective, it depends who her audience are. Are the people is her audience buying it for themselves, or are they buying them as gifts? What's the majority?
I've bought from Nancy because her stuff is so amazing. Now, I bought it for my friends and I bought it for myself, so I've got a thing about hearts.
Right.
She does these amazing hearts, and they've got to be in my bedroom. So I look at them and I get up in the morning, and they just make me feel good. So I am kind of a avatar, if you like, a target audience.
Brilliant. Okay. So I think you've hit the nail on the head there, because as her target audience, what you said is where you put it. Do you put it in the bedroom?
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps maybe you could think about looking at additional decor, perhaps maybe simple colour scheme and things like that. Bedspreads, maybe vases and ornaments that perhaps might be complementary. Other wall art that she doesn't provide, so things like clocks and picture frames and things like that. On the other side of it, in going to the emotive side, so about the feeling that it creates, gives you the warm fuzzies, and it could be a little bit of a tenacious kind of link, but I think perhaps maybe looking at, if you're going alongside with giving it as a gift, so perhaps maybe you could start to look at working with wrapping paper companies, boxes.
That's such a good idea.
Cards that go alongside it. If you're providing art, it's something to sit and look at. While you're looking at it, you might want a glass of wine. Perhaps maybe you want to think about working with people that sell personalised wine glasses and a bottle of wine that goes with it. You could then make it an entire package. It's very exciting. So it's thinking about the feeling it gives you, what you do when you're buying, and where these products are going. Mm-hmm. So if going into your living room, what else is in the living room? What are you doing while you're looking at it? It's going through that thought process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool.
So, but one of the things that I can do, because again, I'll put it on the links at the end. On my website, there's a few recommended platforms of affiliate programs that I'm a member of, that I really enjoy using, that aren't overcomplicated. Because there's a few platforms that are just downright scary when it comes to the technological side. They expect you to be able to jump through, WordPress hoops and, be able to, understand code.
That's not going to be us.
That's not, as a crafter, that's not what you want. This is supposed to be about making additional income streams that complement your business and grow your brand without it being hard. So companies like Awin and Amazon, eBay also have an affiliate scheme. And there's another company called Ultimate Bundles, who basically pull together digital products and sell them in a big bundle. And they're brilliant, because then later down the line you could think about creating your own products, which leads me perfectly on to
number 3.
Number 4.
Four.
So teaching what you know. You are, especially in the Heartizan Toolbox, you're surrounded by really, really talented people. Not just the talents that they have in their ability to create the product that they create, but also their ability to run a business in a day and age when the market is so saturated. So they have tenacity. They have knowledge and a story, which we were talking about before we came on live, about telling your story and about being a human. And I think it's really important for people, especially business owners, not to underestimate what it is that they actually know. So, perfect example is, a friend of mine she does mortgage searches. It's very boring. She loves it because she runs her own business. She's got her own little franchise. And she was talking to me about how she could perhaps maybe add some additional income streams. And she was going really down the mortgage side. We talked about affiliate income and things like that, but it's quite difficult when you're talking about legal services and things. But what I said to her is, you're underestimating your knowledge and the knowledge that you have in running a franchise and running an office, an actual physical bricks and mortar building with people in it. So you know about HR, you know about having that conversation with onboarding people, you know about how to run an actual business, you know about how to liaise with a franchise. So as a crafter, you don't just know how to knit a scarf, create a beautiful mug or a coffee brand, how to make stunning artwork for walls. You also know how to sell it. You know how to create a link with your audience, so you know about running a business. You also understand the basics of probably having a website of some description of your own. You also understand the basics of social media. There's a lot of things that you know that you probably don't leverage to your advantage. So the sorts of things that I want to say basically is teach what you know. So if you knit really, really well and your products are knitted products, then teach someone who perhaps maybe has always wanted to learn, teach them how to knit. You don't have to sit face to face in a classroom anymore to be able to.
We're
proof of the pudding here. You don't have to sit in front of a group of 5 women in your local community centre and charge them £5 each to come and see you, and freeze your Who's-its off in the middle of a community centre. You can go online and film it very, very cheaply, and there are platforms out there where you can create courses that break everything down with a few Word documents that you can fancy up and create a PDF. You can sell ebooks if it's something that you could perhaps maybe use screenshots for and spend some time writing about.
And lives, Facebook Lives, you can start doing the odd demo and people can see it. I know one of our artisans, Davina, I don't think she's on, she does that. She crochets and she crochets and talks to people on live. She actually does sell the program as well. But like her fennel is like, I go on Facebook Live and you watch her and she's amazing, mind. I'm like, oh my God, she's so fast. Yeah. So that does work.
Yeah, it really does work. And I think a lot of people underestimate digital products as a whole, because once you've created it, apart from the minor tweaks here and there that you might have to update, it's a very, very passive source of income. And so from a sales perspective, you can sell directly from your social media. You don't need a website of your own. If you're using just, for example, like Heartizan as your sales platform, you can sell products like this using a company called Sendowl. Again, I'll put the link in. And basically, it delivers everything for you. It's all automatic. And once you've created it, it's very beautiful. And it's creating money while you're sleeping, because you're teaching someone what it is that you can do. As long as you have the ability to be able to break that down, make sure that it's not too complicated.
They can all do that.
Yeah, never over-egg the pudding. Because I've found, and I've made mistakes in the past myself, where I've perhaps created an ebook and I've given too much. So it's got to the point where it's just complicated and people go, oh no, I could never do that. And so then it stops the sales. The more basic and the more you target your audience, the more you speak to that individual, the better it's going to be. And these products are really cheap to create. Yes, there's a little bit of time investment in there. So I would always recommend to test the audience first. Always double check that it's something that your audience would want and buy and need. And also you can always do things like pre-sales. So you can say, I am creating this course, and if someone buys it, then you have to create the course. Your pre-sales are a really easy way of deciding whether or not it's something that the market want. You look like as though there's some questions going on there.
Yeah, she's just Erica. It was something I've already spoke to her, I think. I was going to do coffee recipes. We touched on this last week, didn't we, Erica? And upload videos to YouTube is something like that. But you're not selling them there. So you'd need a program to sell them, wouldn't you?
You would. But it's the way you can repurpose content.
Yeah, so they know what that is.
Yeah, so if Erica's doing these gorgeous recipes, she could blog and put them as individual blogs and then sell them as an ebook by combining all those blogs together. It does not have to be new content, because what you're doing is making it accessible. So if it's a vlog and it's on YouTube, or if it's a really beautiful YouTube video, then compile all those videos into a coffee connoisseurs course.
Yeah, it'd be awesome, that would be. We talked about putting her recipes in her newsletters as well last week. So yeah, just put them all together. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and so you don't have to generate new content in order to create a digital product. It can be content that's already been out there that you've been giving away for free, and all you're doing is amalgamating that information. So that you're creating something that is new, but it's as a result of everything that you've done historically. So it doesn't necessarily have to take that much time and effort to create. It's just about coming up with a real idea, and again being really specific about what it is that you're doing and what that product does. So does it tell a story? Does it provide information? Does it teach you how to do something? And again, if you're selling digital products, especially things like ebooks, then if you're an affiliate, you can also promote your affiliate products within your digital product, and double whammy, you've got double the sales there. So someone could be sat there, they've paid for your ebook, they then go on and buy some of the products that you recommend within that book, and so you're making money constantly, and it's dripping in all the time while you're busy creating the beautiful things that you create to sell.
That's awesome. Awesome
So
advice.
it's super. It's about really, really building that brand and making sure that you're super specific about who you're serving, why you're serving them, and then you can give them everything that they need because you can solve all the pain points that come up as a result.
Yeah,
so, we've got any more questions on that?
I could listen to you all day.
Oh, thanks.
No, I think that's it so far.
Okay, so the last one's really, really simple. Hang on. It decided to have a little fit there. Sorry about that. Can you still see me?
Yeah, nothing happened this end.
Oh, brilliant, good. So yeah, the last one, and I think this is something that women, especially, are really, really guilty of. If we have a lower sense of self-worth, and it's proven, the scientists have proven it, that we have more sense of self-doubt, and we have less sense of value than blokes do. And for some reason, it's just something that happens for some reason. We tend to torture ourselves, we overthink, it's the whole men are from Mars and women are from Venus thing. But the most important thing is that we undervalue what it is that we do and what we create and what our knowledge is worth.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
So my last and final tip is increase your prices. If you are in such high demand that you physically cannot turn around the amount of products that are in demand, then increase your prices to niche down to the people that really, really want your stuff. Because if your target audience is someone perhaps maybe that's on a lower income level, then you need to start thinking about how you can create other things to add to your income, because you can't increase your prices because that's not your target audience. But then you need to think about the amount of time you're spending versus the amount that you're actually receiving in return. There are hundreds of crafts people out there. My dad was one of them. He used to make wooden toys. He doesn't now. He's retired, bless him, he's put his feet up. And he would spend 10 to 15 hours on one model car. They were spectacular, they were beautiful. And he basically said to me, no one's going to pay, actually, if I charged per hour and for the materials, no one's going to pay what it's worth. And actually people did, and I proved that to him, because he was thinking about a local market. Here in Yorkshire, our famous cry is, how much? Because that's just something that our local people are renowned for.
Yeah.
But our target market were high-end people who wanted really unique and original gifts for their children, that were on megawatt salaries and living in the likes of London and, in Oxfordshire and Cambridge and some really beautiful places around the world, that were on a much better salary than we are here in the Pennines. And so when I turned around and said to my dad, you could sell that for £120, he laughed at me. And when I did, I laughed back, because I told him, you're not targeting the right people. And I think it's really important to have value in yourself and to look at how much something costs to make, as in the physical products and properties and things that you're actually using, but also how much your time is worth.
Yeah.
And
no, I totally agree.
Really understand that you are worth it, and that your products are worth it. And if you've really targeted your audience in the right way, which brings me right back to the beginning, then you can change your prices. And don't worry about what other people think either. Don't price.
I had this a couple of years ago with a coach, way before I met Jules, and they're like, yeah, you need to increase your prices. And I was really resistant to it, but I did it because, I was paying him to help me. Yeah. And it makes you feel so, I don't know, it makes you feel so nervous, and then it just thinks, no, I am not worth that. And it puts your head right through in some weird stuff, man.
It's amazing, the psychological triggers of just talk about money. I'm a huge believer in the law of attraction.
Me too.
And I believe if you put it out there that something is going to be the way it is, then that's how it will be.
Yeah.
And you dwell on whether or not you're worth something, then you will inevitably not be worth something. You need to really go, actually, I've worked this out. Don't just pluck a price out of thin air. Yeah. It needs to be based on all the market. It needs to be based on how you feel you value yourself, like we've talked about, how much things are worth, how much your time's worth if you were charging per hour. If you were employed to do the same job, how much would you be charged?
Yeah, and exactly. That's exactly what you've got to think about. And you've got, like you said, you've got to start thinking about your own value, because when I changed my mindset, my business has grown, and it's all about your mindset. It really is.
It is. It's huge. It makes such a massive difference. I'm a big fan of Elise McDowell, who runs a podcast called Happy Wealth, and she basically talks all about this and about running a business, about being successful, and changing your mindset so that you can welcome wealth. And she's done this, and she's proof of the pudding, because she's actually created an online business that is successful before she started Happy Wealth. It wasn't around the wealth industry; it was around something else.
Yeah.
And
check her out.
Yeah. Same with Denise Duffield Thomas. She does exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, I don't know her personally.
But yeah, her books are awesome.
Yeah.
And if I recommend one read, it's Get Rich Lucky Bitch, because that will really make you think about the mindset and the changes that you need to make in order to have a super successful business that doesn't wear you out. It doesn't make you feel guilty for sitting and having a cup of tea. That you don't need to be flogging and slaving away. Charge your worth, earn what you should be earning, and then get lots of passive income streams coming in and make yourself a multi-millionaire.
I think that passive, just because it resonates with everything that was told to me yesterday. That's really
strange. Obviously, really cool. The universe is telling you.
It is. That's Heartizan. Got a few comments.
Sure.
People resonating what we're saying, definitely yes. Oh gosh, yes. That would be our mindset of how women and struggling and all. I undervalue myself and my product so much. Amy, you do. Her jewelry boxes, I'm pretty sure, are £7.
Not enough. Not enough.
No, and they're awesome. I increased my Dean.
From what I'm hearing, I've not actually seen these products. This is just from what I'm hearing about them. Yeah. From word of mouth alone, those products are worth more. I've not even seen the thing.
Yeah, this is what I can see my my teenage daughters liking. They're so out there, and they're lush, absolutely gorgeous, and there's nothing I've really seen like it either. I increased my dream catcher, same lady, last year for a bike rally that she went to. And they sold quicker. There you go. That's my problem. Steph, where you been, love? We're finished. You have to cut the replay. That's our Instagram queen. She's amazing.
Oh wow! Now that's where I'm not doing so well, because there's always somewhere, and Instagram's not my favourite place. But
I think you find what's right for you.
I don't think my audience hang out there. They're not there. They're here. They're on Facebook.
Yeah. Mine too. But I think a lot of crafters can produce so many brilliant images, and Steph links it through to Facebook, and she's awesome. Now Steph makes hoops, so she makes felt hoops,
right? And
she says she struggles with hers, so perhaps we could finish on Steph maybe, as soon as you've just joined the party, Steph.
Yeah, absolutely. So who buys the hoops? What are they for? What do they do?
Okay, so they're decorative.
Okay.
She can customise one. She can customise them to your pet. I think she's got some. Absolutely, the detail is absolutely amazing. She did some for Valentine's. One was actually a heart, an actual art, how heart looks. She did something in the stars. What else did you do, Steph? It's hoops that you'd buy and put on your wall or give as a gift to someone.
Right. Okay. So again, it would depend about who the audience is. About where the price range is, because then we need to know what problem we're solving, and also the style as well. I think that's really important. That's a bit more difficult for me to come up with something, but there will be something, of course. There will. But again, I think without actually seeing them, that's the sort of thing I need to have a look
at.
They're
like a 3D all made out of felt, and it would be, for me, I'd say target audience. I think would be children's rooms for staff.
Oh, gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely. So then you start to look at things like decor, complementary decor within children's bedrooms. Perhaps maybe, again, we've talked before, the same thing applies. If these have been bought as gifts, then recommend some beautiful wrapping paper or a beautiful box company that would really complement the product that you're selling. Cards that go along. Perhaps maybe for additional product rather than an affiliate product, you could speak to other artists about maybe drawing a copy of what Steph's created. So you talked about this beautiful heart. Perhaps maybe a talented artist could draw a copy of it. You could have that as a print that complements the card, and they go together, and perhaps maybe could be sold as a package.
Print it onto Erica's mugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah, absolutely. So I'd also start to think about, we've talked about decor. Perhaps maybe is there certain lighting that would really complement this particular style? Would it work really well hung under a lamp? And if so, what would the lamp look like? Is it an uplighter? Is it how would you give the gift? Is it something that you might want to exchange over a cup of coffee or a glass of wine? Or is it something that you take along to a party with you? It's all this sort of...
Baby showers. Baby showers.
Yeah. If you're thinking about baby showers, then you want to think about would they be used as decor at the baby shower, or would they be given as a gift at the baby shower? And if so, what other complementary products would go along with that baby shower environment? Where are people having baby showers? All the ones I've been to have been at pubs, which is terrible.
Oh, mine have been in their homes.
Yeah. So I'm terrible for even recommending a baby shower side of things. But yeah,
the new thing now is the... Oh gosh, what is it? When they announced the birth, gender reveal.
Oh, of course, yes. A lot of the things that are happening in the States, a lot of those trends do work their way across here. Usually years, doesn't it? But they do work their way across here. But yeah, things like gender reveals. So perhaps maybe a balloon company, and Steph's gift could be inside
the balloon.
So, and again, this isn't something that Steph would have to physically do. She could just do one, and then say, if you wanted to do this, you can buy the balloons from here and my product from here, and so it's
what? I don't know if you could do it, but I know you're amazing, Steph, and you can do anything. So you could probably do the scan picture on a hoop, couldn't you, and stick it in a balloon.
That would be beautiful, and again, that's a lovely gift. Perhaps maybe a pregnancy reveal. There's lots of ideas, and again, if anybody does want to have a conversation, please feel free to message me.
Absolutely.
On the website as well. So
we'll let you go in a minute because we'll talk forever. But I'll just finish the last bit. So interesting. Need to increase my confidence. I struggle with my ideal customer. This is Jane. Beyond female, 25 to 35 and 40 to 50. Buying gifts. I do plaques to make you smile. Usually customers with pets and a sense of humour. Thanks for the info. It's fab. So her business called Maid Contains Sparkle. She's got a lovely business.
I love that. I love the idea of walking around with glitter in my pockets and just spreading it everywhere. As you can see from my sparkle.
I know. Pet toys for your pet portraits. Oh, she obviously does the pet portraits for Steph. Yeah. There's so many pet things that you could tap into. People love their animals. They spend more on it than
frames, beautiful frames as well. So you're not just looking at actually the pet itself, but you're also looking at how they would display your product if they're not already framed. Can you recommend a few beautiful framing? From anything from high end to a lower budget frame.
Yeah.
Think about printing these sorts of things on cards and offering perhaps maybe the digital print for a larger fee so that people can then get them printed onto mugs and things like that if you're doing pet portraits. There's loads of
there is a lot of stuff. You've got to do your research and have a really good think about it. Awesome idea. Yeah, I was thinking of doing that. There we go. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, and what amount of knowledge you have.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been really, really nice. I get very excited when it comes to coming up with your ideas.
I think do you know why we struggle with this? Because we are too busy working in it than on it.
Yeah. Yes, and that's why my ideal audience are people like yourselves that are so in it that I can come as an outsider and say, well, what about this and what about that? And it's all about just milking the brain rather than actually physically doing the work for me.
Yeah.
But
we get so consumed in doing our products, doing them, sewing for me, getting on with it. We don't, and it's so difficult to wear all these hats as well.
Yes, absolutely. You've to be up here, and there is. I think there's different divides in the brain, but confidence first and foremost, and after that, everything will just fall into place.
Yeah,
it really.
Totally.
So good luck to everybody, and I hope that some of the ideas are put into play.
I'm sure they will. Thanks very much, guys. We will see you soon. Bye.
Thanks, Chrissie. Take care. Bye.